opóźniony pociąg ekspres Intercity Premium ze stacji Kołobrzeg. Planowy przyjazd o godzinie 18:21 wjedzie na tor 10 przy peronie 5. Pociąg kończy bieg. Prosimy zachować ostrożność i nie zbliżać się do krawędzi peronu. Za opóźnienie pociągu przepraszamy.
Hi everyone, Chancellor here. This episode comes a bit later than usual. The last one went out just before Christmas, and between Christmas, New Year, and generally quieter period in SimRail news, things naturally slowed down for a while. Then suddenly everything accelerated, new announcements, new content, and finally the release of the Škoda ČD163 DLC on the 25th of January took place. At the same time, I had guests planned for the podcast, but for various reasons, those recordings had to be postponed, which pushed this episode further than originally intended. Instead of rushing something out earlier, I waited for the right moment, you could say, and this release gave me a good reason to come back. So today's episode focuses on the Škoda ČD163 in SimRail, but also on real-life railway practice and differences between countries of Poland and Czech Republic. And to talk about it, I have invited Surikata, a Czech member of the SimRail community, who is also a beta tester for the game with extensive real-life exposure to Škoda locomotives, and someone who has also helped clarify technical details for the community, including helping me personally understand and translate parts of the Škoda cabin. Hello, Surikata, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, everyone.
So let's start with your involvement in SimRail. So since when do you play SimRail?
Now it's 3 years. I started in January 2023.
Oh, that's quite a long time. So have you played any other train simulators before?
Yes, I have played Train Simulator Classic before, and very early also Microsoft Train Simulator.
What brought you to SimRail? What piqued your interest in this game?
I just saw it one day and I was like, okay, that looks interesting. I might try it. And I have tried it. And now I'm still playing it.
I have mentioned you are a beta tester of SimRail. So which content of SimRail have you already tested?
I have only tested Škoda 163 because I'm from Czech Republic. So it doesn't make sense to test anything else because there are a lot of other peoples that know things better than me.
Okay, so you specifically focused on the locomotive. So
Yes.
can you tell us a little bit how the testing was conducted for the Škoda in SimRail?
Well, first I was just watching stream from Můj den v Kadě. That was first stream, I think it was about 12 days before release. And a lot of things were not working correctly. So me and other members of community write down a list of things that should be reworked. And we send it to developers. And then as time passed, they have more questions. So one day, Mate, which is member of community, and he helped a lot with making of that list and communication at all. So one day we made a group on Discord with developers, and from that day I was writing down a long list in Polish language for developers, so then they fix things.
Nice. So you've spent a lot of time in the cabin of the Škoda. Can you tell the listeners what kind of experience that was, and or in what situations you were present in the cabin?
It was a great experience every time. I was mostly in cabin when driving or shunting.
So you were during the driving. So how was your first reaction to the thyristor motor noise? Was it not too scary or too loud?
I have already heard it from some videos before, and for me, it's a really good sound. It's like sound of V8 engine for car fans. It's just like really great sound.
Okay, so it's not disturbing to you at all.
No.
So which Škoda models are you most familiar with from real life?
From locomotives, it's 163 that we have in game, and also two system version of it, 362. And from multiple units, it's 471 City Elephant and 650 Panther.
Okay, interesting. So based on your real life experience inside Škoda locomotive, what elements in SimRail feel especially convincing? Like how good is it represented in the game?
Well, except for sounds that will be reworked, it feels really good. It feels realistic, and a lot of things lot of operations that you can make in real life are working in game.
You've mentioned the sounds. I actually wanted to ask about the sounds in the cabin and the thyristor. So many players complain that the thyristor sound is too loud in the game. Would you agree?
No, I think it's as loud as it should be. Because in real life, you have only one pretty thin wall and you have thyristors in there. So in real life, you can also hear it really loud.
Yeah, I would agree, because when I watched like cabin videos on YouTube from the Škoda, I had the impression that the noise is even louder there than we have in the game. So I really actually thought that the developers made it a little bit quieter, so it's more bearable for the people who are not used to the thyristor sounds. But there are also many complaints about other sounds in the cabin, like, those clicks and ticks of switches and levers. What is your opinion about their representation in the game?
Now that we don't have sounds from tracks, it's a lot better than it was before. But I don't really know. Like, I'm not playing it because of sounds, but I'm playing it because of how it feels. So I don't really care about what sounds just make this button, what sounds just make this switch. I care about how it works and not how it sounds.
Yeah, I think it's good, because if something would be really badly made, it would probably disturb you, like as something which is not present in real life. And since you did not notice like anything disturbing you that much, then I think it's relatively okay represented in the game. And you have also mentioned that the sounds will be they are still work in progress, and there will be updates for that, correct?
Yes. Or at least from what I know, there should be some further updates.
Yeah, I think even Krulik said on Discord, so yeah, that's somewhat confirmed. I also wanted to ask about the engine room, about the Škoda, but I think it is also still in development, with tons of placeholders, for example.
Well, engine room from a model side, it's I think completed, because they are not missing anything. But from perspective of switches, valves, and other things, it's still work in progress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had this battery label for all of the switches. Now it's the number label. So yeah, we still have the placeholders. I remember during the stream of Mój Dzień w KD, I believe it was Eridor who mentioned that the engine room was like completely empty in the morning of the day of the stream. So they really hastily added some parts into the engine room just for the stream. So yeah, that was really like last minute additions, I think.
Yes, it was for sure last minute because they on sideware is power supply for 115 volts. They placed some bad. They placed incorrect thing in there.
Mhm.
So because we have a lot of modifications to it, we have ETCS installed to it, so that changes some things inside of engine room, and but in game we don't have ETCS, so they looked for bad pictures.
Yes, I would like to compare a little bit the railway rules between Poland and Czech Republic, because I know you are familiar with both countries' regulations. So from your perspective, what are the most noticeable differences between railway rules in Poland and Czech Republic?
Most noticeable difference is for sure how is riding on left track treated, because in Czechia you just go on left track and in most times you don't worry about anything. Sometimes you need to go on substitute signal, and on very, very few parts of our railway infrastructure you need to write written orders for it, but that will be soon history. But in Poland you need to change lights, and it's something bigger than just changing your track.
In Poland, around, I think in 2025, there were a lot of changes in the railway regulations. For example, the use of horn was reduced by a lot, and the PKP rules became much more liberal, I think. For example, increasing the speed after the substitute signal and so on. Do you see a similar movement in railway rules in Czech Republic, or is this philosophy around horns and warnings different?
We have a world different philosophy around it. On main track from Ostrava to Prague, you don't use horn even single time if everything goes fine.
Oh.
And we have a lot of crossings in there. It's because when we have a warning system for car drivers, we don't need to horn. So only on some lines where there are crossings only with crosses, you need to horn. But on main track, we have to have light signals and barriers for drivers. Mm-hmm. So in our philosophy, when you have light signals and barrier, you don't need to touch horn at all.
Okay, so you only use it for unguarded crossings.
Yes,
Makes sense, of course. The other main difference between Polish and Czech systems in the Škoda locomotive is the LVZ system, the protection system, which is not used in Poland, but it is used in Czechia, and we have it in the locomotive, but it's not active. How would you describe the practical difference between LVZ and the Polish SHP system used in Škoda locomotive?
One thing is that it merges SHP and Czubak into one thing. and also it shows you what's on next main signal. So for example, when you will be driving for a long time and you have green lights, you don't need to touch button of it. You don't need to touch dead man's button, because it shows you that you have green on next signal and that you can go as fast as you can. And it's but when you have some speed reduction, it shows you, and you need to press that button until your speed is lower than 40 kilometers per hour.
This sounds really helpful. Does this system operate in the whole Czech Republic or only on the main lines?
Showing of what's on next signal is on most main lines, or all main lines, and also some smaller lines, but it's not on all. And I think it will be also good to mention that this system is also used in Slovakia, because not so long before we were one country, and we are using a lot of things same. A lot of things are same in Slovakia and in Czech Republic.
Yeah, even the locomotive is actually Czechoslovakian, right? Made in Czech.
Yes, it's from time when we were one country.
We have mentioned that you were in the Škoda during driving, and I would like to ask, was it in the freight or passenger services, or maybe shunting?
It was only on passenger services, and when changing where is that locomotive on train.
Mm-hmm. Which Škoda livery do you have real life experience from the ones we have in the game?
From the ones we have in game, it's that blue and white combination.
Okay, the one we for the passenger service.
Yes.
Do you have your personal favorite livery in which we have in the game, even though you haven't driven it in real life?
I really like 045, which is green and yellow color combination.
Oh, okay.
That logo is actually from a depot that is really close to me. And I'm not sure, but I think I saw it a few times in real life.
I actually like it as well. I call it Brazilian livery because of the colors to my friends. Are there any notable Škoda liveries that are missing in SimRail, like you've seen in real life and thought that, oh, this would be nice to have in the game as well?
I don't think so, or at least not of that Škoda that we have in game.
Okay.
I really like some liveries of our multi-system version of Škoda, but because we don't have that in game and we don't have Czech tracks, it doesn't make sense to make it into game.
Yeah, okay, but maybe I will arrange that we can show it maybe for the listeners' favorite livery for the multiple system. I'm also curious.
Yes,
so.
it's 362-161, and it's hockey livery.
Mm-hmm. Someone from the Czech community showed some photos on Discord. The livery was, I think, on some special occasion, and I remember there was like a football on it. So maybe there was some football championship, maybe World Cup or something. So I saw there are some like maybe limited edition liveries or maybe only temporary liveries. That would be interesting also to see in the game on some occasions, but it's probably too much work just for that.
Well, it will be cool, but most of locomotives were driving only in Czech Republic and Slovakia, so it won't make sense to see it in Polish simulator.
Okay, so you have real life experience with the Škoda. You are beta tester of SimRail for locomotive, but you are, of course, also a player. So I would like to ask, what do you personally enjoy more in SimRail? Is it driving or signaling?
It's dispatching for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what do you have favorite stations to dispatch?
My favorite stations are Dąbrowa Górnicza Ząbkowice, Koluszki, and Raciborowice.
You've mentioned it off recording, this Raciborowice, and I wonder, like, next to Koluszki and Dąbrowa Górnicza Ząbkowice, this seems rather like small and maybe boring station. Why do you like it so much?
I really like it because there is relay interclocking, and I really like it. And also, it's good when you want to play, but you also want to do some other things.
Mhm.
So you just turn it on, go there, and most of the time you are just chilling, and you are doing something else, and you don't need to think about it.
And to multitask a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, and what about your favorite vehicles in the game?
Well, it's for sure Škoda. Then also Dragon is real good. And I also like ET22.
Interesting. Okay. As for the game, what would you like to see added? Like if you had unlimited budget, like a dream feature added to SimRail, what would it be?
I will really like to see some diesel tracks and diesel locomotives because I like them, and there are really, you can see them very often also on electrified lines. And also I really like shunting, so it will be nice to see some more factory sidings and to have possibility to go from one factory to another, or make a train that just shunts between them.
Yeah, you've mentioned shunting. So do you also play single player scenarios?
Yes, I like to play them, especially that are community made, because there is more shunting and more interesting things than in official scenarios. But also some of the official ones are really great.
Have you tried making your own scenario?
Yes, I have tried it, but because I'm not used to Lua language, it's kind of hard to make it, especially if you want to have it realistic. But I have tried it, and well, I can say it was great experience, but it's also a little bit painful.
Yeah, the programming side. But
Yes.
I keep thinking, like, you as a person who has real life experience with the railways, I think you would be great in at least maybe not programming if you don't like it, but like setting up the scenario, like a movie director. You know, you would say what events happens or what trains are coming. I think that would be great if we could.
Yes, it is.
If we could find you, you know, a programmer who has the other problem, like he knows how to program, but don't have ideas for the scenario or something. So, dear listeners, if there is anyone who would like to program, and maybe you could reach out to Surikata and you could work some out together, that would be fantastic. Okay, so in the last part, since I know that you as a Czech, you also speak, of course, you speak Czech, you speak English, as we can hear, but you also speak Polish language. In this section about languages and pronunciation, I would like to switch things a little bit, and I would like to ask you about those languages. So since you know both Polish and Czech, do you realize now why Czech sounds funny in some aspects to a Polish ear?
Well, I still don't know why kakaový chlebíček sounds funny, but I know about some things that are funny, and I can understand it.
Okay, yeah, because many times when I speak with Czech people and I tell them that it's funny, they are just looking at me very strangely and say, "Why are you asking? Why are you laughing? It's just normal thing." And yeah, so is Polish also funny to Czechs?
Yes, in a lot of aspects. Like when someone is angry and he is talking, it sounds real funny sometimes.
I think it's the same for the Polish when they hear angry Czechs as well. I remember Królik Uszasty once suggested to try the word ośmiornica on Czech. So how does it sound funny to you?
No, it doesn't.
Oh.
At least for me. But maybe someone who don't know Polish at all will say it's funny.
Oh, okay.
But for me, it's not.
Okay. So yeah, Królik Uszasty, there you go. I have tried, but we both failed because Surikata knows Polish. So okay. As for the station names we have present in SimRail, did you have any problems with any of them in terms of pronunciation?
Sędziszów was a little bit harder for me because you need to know Polish language to pronounce it correctly. And also Dąbrowa Górnicza Ząbkowice was a little bit harder because there are A's with that little bit of snake, or I don't know how to call it.
Tail, yeah.
So it's a little bit harder to pronounce it.
Okay, so the words with the Polish diacritics. Yeah, because as a Czech,
Yes.
those sh, ch, all those things you also have in your language, so probably they are not the problem for you. Great.
Yes, we have sh, ch, r. We have a lot of this.
Yeah, when I'm usually in Czech Republic in like once a year, and when I look around, like I am pretty confident that you Czechs hate vowels even more than Polish people. So I wasn't expecting that you have any problems with consonants, with reading too many consonants in one go. Okay, before we go, do you have anything to say to the community, perhaps, or to the developers, maybe, if they are listening?
I will like to say that's more for developers, that it will be nice if they write to someone from community when it will be Czech locomotive to Czech community, or to Polish community if it will be something from Poland, and communicate with them, with people that have a real life experience with that thing. Because if we as community want to write that list, I think some things won't be fixed to this day, and a lot of things could be fixed even before first stream if they will come to community and asks for things, because you can have materials, but you need also someone who knows how it's acting in different situations. It's to simulate it as good as possible.
Right. So, in short, you would like to ask them to reach out to the community even before, like some streams and so on.
Yes. For example, with Škoda, they first showed model of it, and it will be great to also ask for someone who is train driver and knows how it acts in different situations.
One more question comes to my mind. I would like to ask, did you notice any difference in in Czech community of SimRail when the Škoda was released? Are there more Czechs active in the game, you think?
Well, I don't think so. I think most of Czechs that wanted to try SimRail have already tried it. And I don't think that it helps with having more active members, or at least not in Discord community. Maybe some players have tried it, but it's not that they are active part of community, at least not now.
I would imagine that at least there must be someone who maybe was hesitant about SimRail because it's about Polish railways. But once they saw it's that they have added Škoda, then I think it's safe to say that there should
Of
be
course, I
Slovak and
think
Czech.
yes, there are some new members. Yes, also our Czech server in SimRail is a lot more full than it was before. Because before the DLC there were only like 15 people in peak, but now we have up to 50 people, so it's big difference. But I don't think that is because of new members, or at least not that much. It's only because players that have played it before get back to that game.
Yeah. I think it's on every server like that after new content for SimRail releases, but here especially the Czechoslovakian locomotive would be even additional incentive, I would guess.
Yes, I think it was a bigger difference than with other updates. Because when new stations came out, I don't think that it was that big difference of player numbers.
Right. And the first locomotive with the restore in. Oh, one more. I am so unprepared, I'm sorry. But I have one more question about the Škoda. I wanted to ask you about the axle counter. Actually, not axle counter, but the cruise control system of the Škoda. Is it well represented in the game?
Mostly yes, but some things, for example, setting speed with power controller isn't correct, at least not for now. But I think it's mostly represented pretty well.
So what's wrong with the power lever setting the speed of the cruise control? What's incorrect?
Now, if you hold it in position for adding power, it will just add 2 kilometers, and it won't care for how long you hold it in that position.
Yeah.
But in real life, it's impulsing that speed up.
Okay.
So if you hold it...
But I think someone mentioned that on our community, and there was someone else who countered it, saying that there are models like we have in the game when it will add only plus 2 kilometers per hour, no matter how long you hold it. And there are other models which are acting as you are saying. Perhaps there are some modifications which work both ways.
Well, every loco is original.
Okay.
We have one model of that 2-system version of it that is completely different to others, but well, there are some varieties.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much for the conversation, Surikata. I really appreciate you taking the time, especially that you were having some health issues. So I'm happy you have recovered and you could be with us. Before we finish, I have 2 shoutouts to say. The first shoutout is to our common friend, Mati. That's Mati556677, the prominent member of the Czech community who actually hooked us up together. So thank you, Mati. Shout out to you. And my second shout out would be recently following my good friend's advice, I started playing on the German servers, mostly on DE1 server. And oh my goodness, people are so nice. they are like always professional, polite, but still keeping a great sense of humor as well. They also have like a lot of patience as well even for foreigners. It really feels different from the international servers and Polish servers as well. I haven't tried Czech servers, so I need to catch up with this. But yeah, I would like to shout out the German community there. You awesome. So it may be my new place to play when I want to relax and have a good time game. So thank you again, Surikata, for sharing both your real life perspective and your community experience in the game. And
yes, I thank you that I can be here.
And also thank you for helping not only the developers, but also players, including me, to understand Škoda better. I need to re-listen the episode and practice my pronunciation of Škoda, because I always use the Polish Škoda, but that's incorrect. So yeah, thank you again, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.